How many stories like this will it take before we realize chimps are not to be kept as pets in private homes? Chimps don't belong in cages. They should not be in prison. They have committed no crime. A Las Vegas chimp escaped from her cage at a private house for the second time in a month. Cops found CJ the chimp roaming a neighborhood on Saturday after they say she managed to get out of her cage. Thankfully, CJ was tranquilized and not physically hurt, but certainly traumatized. And the first time she escaped, it was a huge tragedy. In July, CJ and her chimp partner, Buddy, escaped from their cages, wandering around the neighborhood, pounding on cars. Well, cops killed Buddy. Joining me now, PETA's Senior Vice President of Communications, Lisa Lange. Lisa, there is a sanctuary that wants to take this chimp, and yet it has been transported reportedly to a zoo and then to some other person or facility that has a larger cage, when the sanctuary called Chimps Inc. is begging to take it. And it just seems outrageous that it's still being shuttled around. This poor, I should say, she is still being shuttled around and further traumatized.
Yeah, you know, it's really tragic, as you said. A month ago, when the first incident happened and Buddy was shot dead in the street, we called on the USDA right away and said, confiscate this animal and move her to an accredited sanctuary right away. Individual owners, they don't have the facilities, they don't have the knowledge to care for these animals. It's our understanding that CJ is 13. When these animals reach that age, and remember, this is an animal who will live to be 60 to 75 years old. When they get to be teenagers, they become too aggressive and too territorial to be able to handle. They're 8 times stronger than a grown man. This is not for an individual owner. Nevada is one of 25 states that still allows individual ownership of great apes, and it just shouldn't be allowed.
It needs to stop, and this chimp, if the authorities are watching, needs to go to Chimps Inc., a sanctuary. I would like to know why this creature should not go, has not gone immediately to this wonderful sanctuary in Oregon called Chimps Inc. They've already told us that CJ would live with 7 other chimps in a natural setting, free from her cage. And I have to say, despite this latest escape, or because of it, Chimps Inc. says they are working more diligently than ever to prepare for CJ's arrival. But Lisa Lange, what I'm afraid of is that somebody's going to try to use this latest escape as an excuse to hold the animal. There was even talk of that. Well, this changes everything, as an excuse to hold her in a cage as they investigate. She has nothing to do with however the cage was opened and she got out. She shouldn't suffer.
No, and definitely they can investigate without her being there. As a matter of fact, it'd be better to investigate with her already in Bend, Oregon. And PETA's very hopeful that she's going to be transferred. I think what's really important is for people to understand that keeping any primate as a pet is always inhumane. Keeping them as a pet or forcing them to perform for television shows like NBC is recently doing with their show Animal Practice, or in commercials, it's always inhumane. These animals are taken away from their mothers when they're babies, only weeks old, which is incredibly traumatic for both the mother and the baby, much like it would be for a human mother and baby. So we urge people to never keep these animals as pets, of course. Always boycott companies and networks that are using these animals in ads and on television. And just be aware that what they go through is incredibly traumatic and inhumane.
And I want to say, Lisa, at hlntv.com/Jane, we have information on how you can help the organization Chimps Inc. And also, Nevada State Senator Michael Roberson is drafting a statewide ban on exotic animals. So definitely tell the Nevada State Senate and legislature you don't want to see exotic animals kept as pets.